Whenever you're ready.
Good evening, everyone. The board members are not on the dais because we're going to have a presentation of the strategic plan. So we will be doing that right after we receive the regular opening of the meeting. So good evening, everyone. This is a public work, excuse me for a second. I need to switch agendas. Okay, good evening again. This is an open public meeting of the Neptune Township Board of Education. In accordance with Chapter 231, Public Law of 1975, adequate advance written notice of the meeting was made by posting the schedule of meetings in the main floor lobby of the Board of Education Administrative Offices and by delivery to the Asbury Park Press, the Coaster, and the Neptune Township Municipal Clerk. Advance electronic notice has been made on the district's website consistent with bylaw 0164.6. In order to abide by the Open Public Meetings Act, Board of Education members may use their digital devices to follow the agenda, report out from meetings, and to view agenda background materials, but not to communicate with each other or anyone outside of the meeting. Fire exits are located in the direction indicated. In case of fire, you will be signaled by bell and/or public address system. If so alerted, please move in a calm, orderly fashion to the nearest exit. Postings have been placed on the bulletin board for everyone's use. Please do not remove these postings. You may obtain free copies of the documents from the district website or purchase copies by writing the Board of Education office. During the public session of this meeting, parties having comment are requested to address the president. The public is advised that in accordance with bylaw 0168, an unofficial audio recording of this meeting is being made. Pursuant to state statute NJSA 26:3D17 and Neptune Township Board of Education Policy Regulation 7434, no smoking is permitted on Board of Education property. As a reminder, Neptune Township School District is a community for all learners where we value opportunity, diversity, and accountability. Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Dr. Berry? Ms. Harris?
Here.
Ms. Hoffman? Mr. Hubbard?
Here.
Ms. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Morgan? Ms. Frazier?
Here. Ms. Morgan is excused, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson?
Excused.
Ms. Flynn?
Excused.
Ms. Lashley? Ms. Jackson?
Here.
Madam President?
I think I missed one of the excuses. Ms. Hoffman is also excused. Sorry. Thank you. Please join me for the flag salute and a moment of silence. Since we're standing, we'll do the moment of silence standing.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so at this time, I think we're going to move into our presentation of the strategic plan. So we will welcome our New Jersey School Board Association members. So we're gonna, our member is Martin, please come forward.
Yes, just give me 1 second. I'm just lining this up so I can move in and then we'll transition to the presentation.
I meant Freedom.
That's okay, that's why I kind of read it.
I called you Martin.
I don't know who that is.
I'm not 100% sure.
Hi, everybody, it's so nice to be here in Neptune Township and to bring you your final strategic plan.
Right?
Can I take
Sorry.
it off? Yes.
If she doesn't use the mic, the YouTube folks.
It's better, yeah. If you stay close to the podium, the YouTube feed will pick you up
That disc is that's the microphone for people.
Oh, that's the public one?
The disc on the podium. Yeah.
You don't need that microphone.
If you use
Okay,
both,
well,
it's
I can
best.
use
That's
this,
best.
and that will help with that.
Yep, exactly.
Hopefully, if I don't trip over a cord, I'll be in good shape. So it's so nice to be here tonight and bringing your final strategic plan. This is what you've all been working towards. And I just said to one of the gentlemen in the room, remember when we had 105 people in this room? You all remember that? That was crazy, right? So I wanted to thank you again for allowing us to facilitate your strategic plan and also to just refer back to strategic plan allows for, it provides for an organizational-wide mission and vision that helps your community members who are part of that, all of your stakeholder groups, really to get behind the plan because they're part of creating the plan. And so hopefully that is what has happened. And then we have the waterfall effect. So the strategic planning goals will be up at the top, and then everything else that's done in the district will flow from those strategic planning goals. So you'll have your district goals and your board goals, which I think you guys did tonight. You guys do this tonight? Started, okay. So you started working on the district and board goals, and those are done annually, so they will flow from the strategic plan and the strategic plan will inform those. Then your administrative goals and your building goals, your department goals, your staff development, your student growth objectives, and your staff professional development, all of those things, plans will flow from the strategic plan. And that ultimately flows into student achievement and improving student achievement for all students. And these are the components of the strategic plan. We talked about those in each of the meetings. And so the first night we had the strategic plan, the state of this district from Dr. Prater, and she presented that. And then we went into small groups, and you all came up with and identified the strengths and challenges. And remember, you did the top 10, like a David Letterman. Nobody's too young to remember David Letterman, right? Okay, good. Anybody too young? Okay. And so then we identified the strengths and challenges. We did a gallery walk that time, and so all those large post-it notes were put up all over the room, and everybody walked around and saw what other groups did, and then we came back and we came to consensus on the strengths and challenges. Then you came back at the next meeting and we talked about vision and initiatives, and we talked about you've been away from Neptune Township for about 3 or 5 years, and you come back and you stop in Wawa or Quick Check or whatever, 7-Eleven, whatever you have, and you go in for coffee and you see Time Magazine is still in print, and it has a picture of Neptune Township schools on it. It says schools that succeed. What would we expect to be happening in the schools in 5 years from now, in addition to all the great programs that you already have and have identified at the previous meeting? What are the things we would expect to see? And so you came up with different initiatives, and then you came up with a vision statement. From that, we just identified common themes again, came to consensus on those, and then we identified 5 goal areas, very broad goal areas that would be used at the next meeting to develop those goal areas by using all the information from meetings 1 and meetings 2, and then be able to put together different objectives, identify objectives, 3 to 5 objectives for each goal area, and then develop a goal statement. Then all of that information was presented to the superintendent and the administrative team, and they worked on the action plans. And we'll go through the action plans in a few minutes. And then we're delivering, so now Tim and I are delivering that final plan to you tonight, and you'll adopt the final plan. You don't have to adopt it tonight, you may adopt it at the next meeting because the board hasn't seen the final plan put together yet. So they may do that at the next meeting. And then once they adopt it, the action plans are implemented by the superintendent and the administrative team and the staff. And you'll be receiving updates regularly at board meetings on the agenda. You may have them tied to district goals and hear about that when there's an update on the district goals. And then hopefully every year you'll have an annual state of the strategic plan report that will be delivered. Usually that's sometime in June or in September. Okay, and you'll hear about what's been done throughout that year and what's coming up in the next year. So the planning meetings, we had fabulous participation at your planning meetings. February 21st, we had 72 participants. March 18th was the 105. It's not the most I've ever had, but it's the second most I've ever had. And you all worked very, very well together. And then in April, the April 16th meeting, we had 59 participants. And you really had the superintendent, you had board members here at every meeting. So it was advertised as a public meeting because sometimes there were a quorum. You had students here, which was fabulous too. And you had parents and community members, really people from all over your diverse community came in and really participated in building this plan. And it will guide the district and the board over the next 3 to 5 years. So I'm going to read your mission statement. The primary mission of Neptune Township School District is to prepare all of our students for a lifelong learning process and to become confident, competent, socially and culturally conscious citizens in a complex and diverse world. It's with high expectations that our schools foster a strong foundation in academics and modern technologies, a positive, equitable, and varied approach to teaching and learning, an emphasis on critical thinking skills and problem-solving techniques, a respect for and an appreciation of our world, its resources, and its diverse people, a sense of responsibility, good citizenship and accountability, and an involvement by the parents and the community in the learning process. And as I said, you had lots of parents at each of those meetings and community members, students, staff, and board members. So the 5 goal areas that were identified were student learning and engagement, finance and facilities, communication, which was going to include increased positive social media presence, parent and community partnerships, and safety and security. You know, hang on. So the first goal area is student learning and engagement, and the goal statement is to increase achievement for all learning, for all learners through engaging curriculum and varied methods of instruction. And the objectives for those are support for teachers, training resources, parental involvement, parent academy and tutorials, increased teacher to student ratio, have less students per teacher, and student ownership of their education. And the second is facilities and finance. And that goal statement is to evaluate the existing facilities to repurpose space to possibly generate a revenue stream and maximize student opportunities. And the objectives are to identify appropriate spaces to be repurposed, evaluate potential programs to occupy that space, for example, trades and vocational learning, identify student interest in programs to help identify future careers, and re-examine all building occupancies for efficiencies. Next is communication. As I said, that was to include increasing positive social media presence. The goal statement is to create a clear channel of communication between the Neptune Township School District and our communities. The objectives are to increase social media presence, website refresh that includes refresh and functionality, development of communication committee, and improve communications between schools to ensure consistency of messages and shared information. The 4th goal is parent and community partnerships. The goal statement is to increase family and community partnerships in order to form stronger school, family, community relationships. The objectives are to increase public relations with all stakeholders, create a sense of belonging and community within all district schools, create a comprehensive system of communication and publicity that teaches all, identify and resolve barriers and issues for non-participation, and empower students to be active members in the greater community and in the planning process. And then the 5th goal is safety and security, and that's to create a safe, secure, and welcoming environment for all students. We know when students come to school, if they feel welcomed and they feel safe and secure, they're ready to learn. And we also know that staff is ready to learn and ready to teach when they come into a building, into buildings that are safe and secure and welcoming. And those objectives are communication with all stakeholders, training for all staff, staffing, do a needs assessment, relationship, resources, students and staff feel secure, addressing basic needs, building and technology, update, upgrade, and upkeep, and ensuring that we have well-developed protocols for protocols that are reviewed and revised. So those are your 5 strategic planning goals. And I would say that there's probably nothing in the district that you might want to achieve or have have as part of a district goal that wouldn't be able to fall under any one of those particular goal areas. This is what the action plans look like. And there is a strategic planning goal that will be stated, the objective, and Dr. Prater is going to go over the action plans in a few minutes. And it will have major activities. So what are the major activities that we expect to see in each of those goal areas and objectives? And it will include what the major activity is, who's responsible for it, what resources do we need, which is usually time, people, and money. What's the time frame that we'd like to see that major activity completed by? And then what are the indicators of success? What evidence do we have that that major activity was actually completed? So you'll see things, remember we talked about everything can happen in year one. So there will be things that you need to build resources for over the next couple of years to be able to achieve. But you'll see in those action plans what's going to be happening in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. So the next steps are that the board will review the documents. After tonight, they'll adopt them at a formal meeting in the future. And then administration will really implement all of those action plans. And you'll be able to see those things listed at board meetings, on the agenda, hearing about updates on the strategic planning process and what's going through that. And then the final plan, also once it's adopted, you just need to let us know. We will send you the PDF, which is the document that you have in front of you, so you can post it on the website. And we like to do that once we know it's been adopted. And then everybody will be able to follow along. So we really want to thank you. These are all your students, and you have great students. A lot of them were here throughout the process, and they were wonderful. You had some very little ones that were here, and they really participated in the process as well. And we thank you for your time and your talent in developing this program and this process. And we hope that you enjoy going through the strategic planning process with the board and with the administration. So that's what we have for you. And now Dr. Prater is going to go through the action plans.
So I'm not actually going to go through all of the action plans. Instead, I'm going to post the action plans on our website. Rather, I recorded a PowerPoint presentation with a voiceover so that, similar to the budget, anyone can go on our website and hear this presentation again. It will be self-explanatory, but I will share with you that it is all about year 1. That's basically what we want to talk about tonight is year 1. I took the liberty of using the objectives that were written by the committee and changing them into actionable objectives because some of those were just words and phrases, and I captured the substance but changed the phrase itself. So Matt, if you could get us started. Township School District, a community for all learners where we value opportunity, diversity, and accountability. I am Dr. Tammy Prater, Superintendent of Neptune Township Schools. I want to remind everyone that all of the work that we do, including the development of action plans for our newly drafted strategic plan, supports the critical goal of providing equitable access to high-quality educational opportunities for all of our students. Although our strategic plan will guide us through the next 5 years, this presentation will highlight just the first year of work. This presentation, along with all of the action plans, will be posted on our website. Within this presentation, each of the 5 categories that were created through the strategic planning process will be shown, along with the goals developed by breakout groups of stakeholders. A second slide in each category will highlight the action plan items. Keep in mind that at times, circumstances may exist that preclude the accomplishment of a specific goal. Also note that not all action plans include every detail, in that action plans are very dynamic, with the plans typically developing into more rather than less actionable items. Our first category in our strategic plan is student learning and engagement. The goals established fall into teacher training, parent education, class size, and student ownership. The action plan for year 1 in student learning includes planned professional development, more deliberate and frequent communication of student resources, the inclusion of curriculum items in monthly school newsletters, and the utilization of data teams. Additionally, the district's reading teacher will serve on all schools' intervention and referral teams. New guiding documents for staff will support literacy instruction and the use of bell-to-bell schedules. Test prep items are also embedded in lessons and curriculum documents. Students in grades 3 to 5 will have typing time in their school days. Additionally, parents will be notified when students are falling behind proficiency. Finance and facilities is our second category. The committee discussed the use of space and resources with regard to student interest, focusing on the possibility of relevant vocational education. In the upcoming school year, we will be recruiting additional students for our newly developed phlebotomy program, a partnership we have with Hackensack Meridian. Our action plans include a great deal of analysis in terms of baseline data. It will be important to know, in our current financial climate, how our district spends money as compared to other districts. It will also be helpful to gauge student interest as indicated by their enrollment in Monmouth County Vocational School District and to determine if there is a gap there that we can fill. The reversion of the Early Childhood Center is underway. Communication is an area of focus for us. Goals in this category highlight the need for a more consistent and thorough media presence. In year one, we have already surveyed families and have met with our website platform representatives. We have begun a complete website refresh. Administrators have developed a list of uniform talking points to answer questions, highlight opportunities, and address the challenges we face. At least 3 parent academies will be developed. Principals have been provided a consistent template for a monthly newsletter, and that newsletter will incorporate information from the curriculum department as well. School Messenger will be utilized to more consistently share information. There is a great deal of overlap between the communication and parent and community partnership categories. Goals in the community partnership area focus on the highlighting and sharing of the good work that goes on here. Last year, we held a meeting with secondary students to ask them about their experiences in our schools and to hear suggestions for how we can improve. Based on their positive feedback, we will schedule 2 such sessions in the upcoming school year. We will continue to attend community events and more deliberately share information about our work with our partners. We hope to provide childcare and translators at parent and community events that we sponsor. As always, safety and security are our primary responsibilities. Goals in this area highlight the importance of training and resources. We currently have a school safety specialist / VP of Safety and Security whose responsibility it is to update our emergency response plans, provide and observe monthly drills, and provide feedback to schools. That process will continue along with training based on the needs assessed from the last school year. The district's threat assessment team will also meet monthly. After reviewing the action plans, feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns. You can find my contact information on this last slide. So before board members go back to the dais, any questions from those of you who are here, who were involved in this process from the beginning? Any concerns, any comments? No one applauded to typing. I was a little surprised.
I really like that. I really do. I like that. Out of all the things I've learned, typing is by
I
far.
know. I know. We suspect there are implications to not having that training for our state testing. So some of our kids need to learn to navigate that. That was your favorite subject?
Well, I think it's the most useful skill, like typing quickly is the most useful skill out of
Anything else? Any other comments, questions? Nancy?
You refer to a conversion aspect.
So, the ECC was built with SDA money, Abbott funding, right, years ago. And part of that agreement was that if we did not use that building for a period of time for educational purposes, it reverts back to the state. And we can no longer afford to maintain it, quite honestly.
I think,
Sure.
so that the state gets it back and they can do whatever they want.
They can. I don't know what they'll do with it. I'm sure they don't want to be in the real estate business, so. Any other questions, comments? Yes.
Just have a general, because I know the last section was the safety and security, so I know I have an eighth grade. But so how does that really address, like, stuff that was mentioned there, like, how does that address fights that happen?
So those are building issues that need to be addressed through grade level meetings, parent and teacher meetings. I know that at the high school, there was a parent meeting last night, and Mr. Decker, new principal, talked a little bit about that. And I know Dr. Opoku also has met with a few behavioral issues from last year to, over the summer, get ahead of that. So those are issues that we are tackling as well. And that extends beyond that too, right? That's everywhere.
Oh, no, I agree, that's middle school.
Yeah, that is middle school and high school. Anything else? Thank you, yes.
The website, did you all ever thought about having students help with this?
Yeah,
For instance, at my job, at Hancock Schools, I don't know.
no, they definitely have a voice. They are very creative here at Neptune High School, but thank you. Where are you?
So we have content.
Yeah. They're very talented. Okay, thank you all for coming. Thank you once again for participating in the strategic planning process. Thank you, Nancy, for coming out of retirement for a few days. Okay, and board, I think we're ready to go. Thank you, Mary Ann and Tim.
Thank you.
That's very important, and it's not very important. Yes. I got my names mixed up. Let me get in, Bishop.
It might be.
For making their way back to the dais. On behalf of the board, we do want to thank everyone who participated in the process. And just know that the process does not end with the presentation of the strategic plan. It is going to take all of us to make sure that we're able to achieve the goals that are outlined in the plan. So we hope that you will continue to come to our meetings, to give voice to concerns that you might have, and to just allow us to be successful as a district collectively. Okay. Board members, does everyone have their documents open? Ready? You ready? We'll go to the superintendent's report then.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple announcements. We have a middle school teacher who has received both a national and a state award. Lauren Hallgren, social studies teacher at Neptune Middle School, has been selected as one of 3 American civic education teachers, 3 in the country. That's a wonderful thing. She was also named the New Jersey Council for Social Studies Teacher of the Year. So they were here yesterday to do a photo op, and she's very excited. I did leak that to the press, so hopefully that will be out tomorrow in the coaster. Yes. We had high school and middle school orientation that went well. We also had a parent night for high school, as I mentioned earlier. So Mr. Decker has talked a little bit to parents and students about the cell phone pilot program. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. We do have some good news. We try
different approach to high school credit recovery this year. We had parents enroll the students so that they had some skin in the game. And we also switched platforms from Edmentum to New Jersey Virtual School. We went from 40% recovery in the last few years to 70% recovery. So that's something to celebrate too. School starts for teachers for staff next Tuesday and for students on Thursday. So just a reminder that full days, all days. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prater. Mr. Hubbard, can you move our minutes, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approved minutes of the Board of Education NJSBA of July 29th, 2024, work session on July 29th, 2024, regular meeting July 31st, 2024. So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Hubbard, seconded by Ms. Jones. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris? Mr. Hubbard?
Yeah.
Ms. Jones? Aye. Ms. Prater?
Aye.
Ms. Lashley? Ms. Jackson?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. We'll move into our public comment. Oftentimes, it may appear to members of our audience that the Board of Education takes action with very little comment and, in many cases, by unanimous vote. Before a matter is placed on the agenda at a public meeting, administration has thoroughly reviewed the matter with the superintendent of schools. If the superintendent of schools is satisfied that the matter is ready to be presented to members of the Board of Education, it is then referred to the appropriate board committee. The members of the Board of Education work with administration and the superintendent to assure that members fully understand the matter. When the committee is satisfied with the matter, it is presented to the Board of Education for discussion before any final action is taken. Only then is it placed on the agenda for action at a public meeting. All personnel motions are at the recommendation of the superintendent. All agenda postings are available for public review. In rare instances, matters are presented to the Board of Education for discussion at the same meeting that final action may be taken. Time will be allotted now for public comment. Each speaker will be allocated up to 3 minutes when recognized by the presiding officer. Individuals wishing to address the board shall be recognized by the presiding officer and shall give their names, addresses, and group, if any, that they represent. Although the board encourages public participation, it reserves the right through its presiding officer to terminate remarks to and or by any individual not in keeping with the conduct of a proper and efficient meeting. The board will not respond to questions during the public participation portion of this meeting involving the employment, appointment, termination of employment, negotiations, terms and conditions of employment, evaluation of the performance of, promotion, or disciplining of any specific prospective or current employee. The floor is now open for public comment. If you'd like to comment, please come forward and state your name, address, and affiliation. Okay, public comment is closed. Ms. Lashley, can you move the superintendent's report, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve items recommended by the superintendent on the superintendent's report as per document A, items 1 through 11. So,
It's been moved by Ms. Lashley, seconded by Ms. Harris. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris? Mr. Hubbard?
Aye.
Ms. Jones?
Aye.
Ms. Prater? Ms. Lashley?
abstain from items and items and items.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. We will dispense with the reading of our committee reports. Ms. Jones, can you move our finance item, please?
Thank you, Madam. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve items recommended by the superintendent under finance as per document E1, items 1 through 7. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Jones, seconded by Mr. Hubbard. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya. Ms. Lashley. Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Ms. Harris, can you move our transportation items, please?
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Harris, seconded by Ms. Jones. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya. Ms. Lashley. Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Ms. Purdy, can you move our education special projects items, please?
Thank you, Madam President.
It's been moved by Ms. Purdy, seconded by Ms. Harris. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya.
Aye.
Ms. Lashley. Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Ms. Harris, can you move our special education item, please? It's been moved by Ms. Harris, seconded by Ms. Lashley. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya. Ms. Lashley. Ms. Jackson.
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Ms. Lashley, I'm back at you for student activities.
Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve items recommended by the superintendent under student activities as per document C3, items 1 through 4. So
It's been moved by Ms. Lashley, seconded by Ms. Harris. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya. Ms. Lashley. Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Mr. Hubbard, can you move our personnel items, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve item recommended by the superintendent under personnel as per document D1, items 1 through 40. So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Hubbard, seconded by Ms. Jones. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya. Ms. Lashley.
let's see, 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, 17, 19, 25, 30, 27.
Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Ms. Jones, can you move our negotiations item, please?
Thank you, Madam President. Be it resolved that the Board of Education approve item recommended by the superintendent under negotiations as per document D2, item 1.
Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Jones, seconded by Mr. Hubbard. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call, please.
Ms. Harris. Mr. Hubbard.
Aye.
Ms. Jones.
Aye.
Ms. Freya. Ms. Lashley.
Aye.
Ms. Jackson.
Aye.
Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Ms. Harris, can you move our document Z? It's been moved by Ms. Harris, seconded by Ms. Puryear. Board members, any questions? Mr. Leonard, roll call please.
Ms. Harris? Mr. Hubble?
Aye.
Ms. Jones?
Aye.
Ms. Puryear? Ms. Leslie? Ms. Jackson?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Board members, is there any unfinished or new board business to come before the board? I will state that during our moment of silence, I was remiss in not recognizing former security officer Thelma Braggs, who transitioned earlier this week. Okay, seeing no unfinished or new business, board members, is there a motion to adjourn? It's been moved by Ms. Harris, seconded by Ms. Lashley and Ms. Puryear. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and we will see you in September. Have a great start of the school year to our students and staff. Thank you, everyone.